What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, once again. So, we got an update on his turbulency. His turbulency is on the arse, no diddy, of the road runners. Me, me. Yeah, that's what he's on. We got a leak here. This seems to be one of... I'm not sure who it is. This is some sort of manager. There's a card happening. On what date is it? Let me check the gambling. The date is the 13th of July, Sunday morning. It's got Shakur Sleepvinson versus Zepeda, Edgar Berlanga versus Amza Shiraz, Puello versus Matias, and David Morrell versus Imam Kazatayev. That's the card. Now this guy here is a manager of one of the fighters. Couldn't tell you who he is. He comes out and leaks the fact that Turkey has ordered this fight to be in an 18-foot ring. Traditionally, the standard accepted size is 20. 18 is not impossible, but 20 is normally the standard. And we're going to go through the history of that, but here's the bars. It leaked. Contractual leak ain't no one heard before. Exclusive to the YB. You best believe it.
Agreement. He's fighting David Morrell on July the 12th. I can tell you one thing that's changed, and this is not me breaking any confidentiality or privacy agreements in the contract. But I tell you what, I agree with His Excellency, because that ring now has been reduced to 18 foot. It ain't a 20-foot ring.
Yeah.
Because guess what? We all want to see fighters fight, and I'm really happy that that ring now for July 12th is an 18 by 18 ring, internal, inside the ropes.
Yes.
That's going to make guys fight, not want to run and use basically, every inch of the ring. We're down to 18 foot ring now. Absolutely. I'm really happy about that, because my guy is a pressure guy.
Definitely.
So, there you go, people. Now, I want to give you some context here for reference sake. Yeah? This is a ring that we know is 22 feet. This is Billy Joe versus Canelo. We know this because it was a big thing at the time. Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders took place in a 22-foot ring, which was the agreed upon size after a dispute. Saunders' team initially insisted on 24-foot ring, actually, but they insisted on 24-foot. Canelo offered a 20 and they agreed on 22. And this just shows you, for reference sake, let's look at that. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You don't need a ring that big, man. Ever. Look at that there. Yeah? He's got loads of options to move this way, move that way. It encourages to stink. Yeah? That's what it does. It enables people to stink the place out. Same as, not this one, that's a good one. This one here, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. This ring was, I couldn't find the details exactly, but just look at the size of it. These are two heavyweights in there. Yeah, Mike Tyson would need to take about 5 steps to get to the other end. You can't even see the other half of the ring. Yeah. Mike Tyson's more or less in the centre. There's another half on that. Ridiculously big. Absolutely massive. Yeah, and it enables people, particularly in this situation, Mike Tyson's legs were shot. The ring should have been the smallest ring ever. Right? And that's what these fighters do. They change the rules to suit themselves. I don't even know why there isn't a unified boxing rule, to be honest. It should be unified 16 foot, bottom line. 16 foot is plenty, end of the day. Now, again, we don't have the information of it, but this is a ring which I thought looked very small. You can just tell the difference, right? Look, this is Chisora versus Wallin. And at the time, I hadn't bet on it, but when I saw the size of the ring, I thought, Wallin's cooked. Yeah? And I believe this was an 18-foot ring. So this is what we're going to get. And this looks good. I mean, it's 16. I wouldn't mind... Listen, man, Turkey putting the bread up. I wouldn't mind Turkey trying... I think they should kind of do it like the gloves do. If you're below 147 pounds, it's 16 foot. Oops. Because I think this was a good size for a heavyweight fight. Wallin could move. What he couldn't do is just back up indefinitely and spin around and have loads of options to move back, forward or left. Yeah? You shouldn't be allowed to take more than 2 back steps before you hit the ropes. This ain't road running. It's fighting. Oh, stand right there. No, there's nothing wrong with standing right there, yeah, and doing some old school shit. Yeah? You ain't got to be... Watch the old school... Watch Holyfield fight, man. Watch James Toney fight. You haven't always got to be Roy Joe. You haven't always got to be backpedaling. That's what you haven't got to be doing. Fight at the end of the day. Now, I've said before, I've also got no problem with another promoter making a new league and make a 40-foot ring, and you man can watch that. You can rank off over the skill. If you want to watch that, I can't sit here. It's not Turkey's job to enforce you to watch things, but we'll see who does best. We'll see who wants to see a 50-foot ring, and a dude like Devin Haney would do well in a 50-foot ring. Just faffing around. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah? He'd do very well in that. And good for you, man. He likes wanking off over that. I'm not interested. I want to see again, I think this is probably a bit too big, to be fair. I want to see skills in there. If you're good defensively, you don't really need your feet like that, in my opinion. A step here, a step there. 2 steps here, 2 steps there. You don't need to be road running. Yeah? The best defense can be done in 2 steps, is my point, I believe. If you've got a proper disengage and paddle around, is it really boxing? Not in my opinion. I don't even necessarily like the clinch either. I'd ban the clinch and I'd make the ring 16 foot. Now listen, if you're good enough to be able to run in a 16-foot ring, then fair play to you, if that makes sense. If you're literally able to skirt it. But a 16-foot ring, like this situation here with Wallin and Chisora, it was Wallin never had many places to go. Because let's assume Chisora's just off the centre of the ring. Wallin's almost at the ropes already, and rightfully so. Yeah, Wallin's got maybe a few steps he can make back to the corner, but there's nowhere to hide is the point. And that's how it should be. You shouldn't be able to hide in a ring. Yeah? Put your hands on your head, get rocking and rolling, old school. A step here, a step there. That's how it should look. And it will mean the pressure fighters don't get tired, constantly having to chase your ass down. They can do a quick explosive 2-step, pop, and there. That's how it should be. And now it's on the other guy. These days, it's like pressure fight. Yes, Canelo was looking lackluster, but even better pressure fighters. It's hard work when you're chasing someone around the ring. It's just not. It's not right. It's not boxing, in my opinion. Look at this size of it. This might have been 16 foot to be fair. It's probably 18 because they're heavyweights. But this is the proper sized ring, man. Look at that. Compare that, yeah, to that. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous, man. Proper. Or this one here, even better. Look at that. You can't even see the other half of the ring. You can't even see the other half of the ring. You can't even see the other half of the ring. That's a proper ring there. Proper old school ring. And the rules here say, I looked it up, how small can a pro boxing ring be? A professional boxing ring can be as small as 16 feet. Yeah? So up until 147. So the 147 pounders and below, 16 foot. End of the day, 16 foot. And everyone else, 18 foot. Tops. And I'm not necessarily against seeing. Let's have a look if we can find a 16-foot boxing ring. I'm not even necessarily against having the heavyweights in the 16-foot ring either, to be fair. That does look pretty tight, though. That is really tight. That does look really small. Is that one there? I mean, he's alright. I mean, end of the day, you're there to fight, man. End of the day. That's 12 foot. 12 foot's obviously way too small, but 18's better than 22, 24. That's the good turkey. End of the day, good turkey. That's the right play. Yeah, and in fact, maybe I'm being harsh here. Turkey's obviously took the choice to do that, and that's one thing we didn't think of. How could we stop people running? Oh, financial incentives. I don't think you even need to do that. This is actually a good play by Turkey. I'm surprised. Well, I didn't think of it myself, and I'm disappointed in myself there. They say, listen, man. Just keep making the ring smaller. If you want this big money, no problem. Yeah? Could there be a stinker in a really small ring? There probably still could be, though. If 2 dudes are scared to death to throw their hands. But inevitably, though, the fight can't be worse. Ramirez versus Haney wouldn't have been worse in a 16-foot ring. Because Ramirez would have been right there after a step or 2. Yeah? It would have inevitably been better. So even if you get 2 guys who are stinking a place out, a smaller ring can only help that. Because if you really focus in. If you made the ring 4 foot by 4 foot, there's no running. So the fight has to be good. You're rarely gonna get 2 people like this just standing there. So it is the ring size enables draft dodgers. That's how it feels to me. They're dodging the draft of fighting. Yeah, that's what it enables. You can sit there, have a look, you take a step back, he takes a step forward, you take a step forward, he takes a step back, and it's all faff long. And that's what I'd do with Turkey. If I was Turk, I'd say, listen, everyone's having an 18-foot ring. But if I see people stink the place out, your next fight is 16 foot. And you work it all out. And if that fight stinks, you're in a 14 foot. And if that fight stinks, you're in a 12 foot. And you go down. You have to earn your way back up to a bigger ring. you end up in a phone box. Yeah? And if you have a good fight in a phone box, we'll make it a 6 foot ring. And you go back up again. You've earned your place to have a bigger ring. You've proven yourself in the gladiatorial games. What we're not doing is this rubbish that's been happening. Yeah, and this is a step in the right direction. Again, I wouldn't mind seeing a 16 foot ring trialled for smaller dudes. I mean, if you're a smaller dude, if you can't get it done, look at that. Yeah, it looks a fair size to me. I don't know why you'd ever make one bigger than that. Yeah? These are two big heavyweights. If you're a 160 pounder, reinflated, so if you're a 170, 47 pounder, reinflated, if you can't get your work done there, you ain't coming to fight. You ain't coming to box. You're coming to faff around like Shakur. He's got good technical elements, but he's like step, 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 step. Even Bivol, to be fair, that should have been in a 16 foot ring for me. If he's that good, let's see how good he is. With Beterbiev not having to chase him around. Let's see how big see if we can see if AI's got any news on. I'm intrigued to see how big that ring was. Bivol versus Beterbiev, 2 ring size. Oh, no. Fair play then. The rematch between Bivol and Beterbiev was reportedly contested in an 18-foot ring. As the aggressor and harder puncher, Beterbiev benefited from a ring. That's fair play to Bivol then. Look, fair play to Bivol if that's the case. Let me check that then. I don't think it was that small. Fair play to him. It needs to be 16 foot then. That's what that tells me. That tells me, yeah. I'm not just hating, but if Bivol Beterbiev, he was still doing a bunch of running, man. Too much running for me. Way too much running. He did some good pot shots. He won the second fight, based on what we saw. I'm not going to lie. I want to check how big this ring is. Get it closer up. Yeah, it's too big. It's too big, man. That wasn't 18 foot. This looks like a 50 foot ring. He looks massive, man. There's options everywhere. It's fair to say they're both in the centre now, but look, you can't even see neither rope. So you've got they're in the middle now, right? So it means Bivol's got 4 steps to the left, to the right, to the back. From the middle, too many, man. This wasn't 18 foot, this was 24, I believe. And if it was 18 foot, it just looks massive to me. If this was 18 foot, at the end of the day, it needs to be, there's no way. There's no way that's 18 feet. Sorry, I believe that. And if it was, it needs to be 16. That's what this proves to me. 16. The bare minimum. Everyone. 16 flat out. Yeah? 16 feet flat out. Too much. Too much running in there. Way too much running. Anyway. What else am I going to tell you, man? There's another clip. Oh, this is the clip here. This is Bill Haney, Devin Haney's pops getting cut. Yeah? Watch this. Turkey cut this guy. Watch this one here.
Let's make the fight happen. And did you hear the narrative has been that Turkey doesn't like running, which anything that Turkey doesn't think likes it. I like it too. You see what I'm saying? So if there's no running, then guess what? There'll be no running. But let's make the fight happen.
So he says, Turkey doesn't like running. Well, I don't like anything Turkey doesn't like. Oh, that's crazy.
The narrative has been that Turkey doesn't like running, which anything that Turkey doesn't think likes it. I like it too. You see what I'm saying? So if there's no running, then guess what? There'll be no running.
So Bill Haney concedes if there's no running, there won't be no running no more. We'll see how that plays out. But it's funny, if anyone else told Bill Haney how to fight, or Devin Haney how to fight, he'd be like, ooh, I'm from the Bay, y'all, ooh, I'm from the Bay, y'all, ooh. That's what they've been doing. If Turkey don't like it, I don't like it. Master Ball, I'm sorry, Master Ball. I like a small ring, Master Balls. Oh, man, we don't like running, y'all, Master Balls. That's crazy, man. Bill got put in his box. But that's the, listen, man. I think Devin's alright. He's not a punk. He will fight anyone. I don't think, who's he ducked? He wanted to fight Ryan in the rematch. He wanted to fight Tuikafimo Lopez. He will fight. He gets in there and he's a bit dead, but he will get in there. And if you can put it on him, just walk in. Ramirez, you got to walk right onto Devin. You got to sprint onto him and he can't punch. You got to just walk right into him. That's what you got to do. No defense as such. Straight up and down, hands on your head, and just walk right onto him. Sprint onto him and just try and make it messy. That's how you get on him. You can't be taking your time and pretending it's professional boxing with Devin, because he can't take a punch. If you can get Devin rattled, if you can clatter him a few times, wheels are going to fall off most likely. But listen, Bill, we'll see how he comes out in this next fight. And in terms of the card it affects, is it big news? Well, apparently they're all. I just don't believe Bivol Beterbiev 2 was an 18 footer. When you compare it to that, am I wrong? Is it the camera angle? I guess it could be the camera angle. But you can always say that, right? I remember seeing this and thinking, whoa, that ring's small. I remember thinking the ring was big. I remember thinking, is it possible Bivol's skills are that good? It's mutt. Don't get mutts, folks. Definitely don't get mutts. It just looks massive, man. I'm not going to lie. Could be the case. Is Bivol's footwork that good, though? Did he make the ring feel big? It looks big to me, man. I'm not gonna lie about it, man. At the end of the day, it looks massive compared to this one. But Chisora was all over him. Maybe it's Chisora's style. No, it just looks small. The rings are like they're at this point. They're at the opposite corner almost, and he's almost next to the next corner. You know what I mean? They're at the other side of the ring, and they're almost at the other corner. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, left the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about this one, people. Stop it. Yep. Bosh.